Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. 8 days left until Paris Saint Germain are set to face Tottenham Hotspurs in the UEFA Super Cup. Paris Saint Germain going to play this final due to them winning the UEFA Champions League, and Spurs going to play us because they won the UEFA Europa League. We've ticked off many Premier League clubs, not Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa, failed against Chelsea. And now it's time for Spurs, the 6th Premier League club in this calendar year alone, which is absolutely crazy. And, the last game we played was the 3-0 defeat to Chelsea, which obviously has an impact on this game. That's the last game, and that was obviously a final to compete for a trophy. This is basically a friendly tournament. But I would love to start off the new 2025-2026 season with a trophy. We're also going for the sextuple. We were talking before about the septuple. Paris Saint Germain becoming the first team of all time winning 7 trophies in one calendar year. But unfortunately, we failed in the Club World Cup final, which means we can still do sextuple, which only 2 clubs have done in modern football: FC Barcelona in 2009 and Bayern München under Hansi Flick in 2020. If we win the UEFA Super Cup and then the Intercontinental Club World Cup at the end of 2025, we will still be sextuple. So this is an achievement. This is a trophy that I want. I want it for last season, I want it for the PSG history, and I want it for next season. This will obviously be Paris Saint Germain's first UEFA Super Cup ever in our history. So another reason why we should go for this trophy. But as I mentioned, the biggest thing with this is the new introduction to the next season. Yes, we won the UCL last season, and technically that's where the season was supposed to end. But obviously, the Club World Cup is where the season ended. And, it ended in a heartbreak, 3-0, 30 minutes in. So now we got to put that behind us and look forward for this new exciting season. Luis Enrique 3.0. Ousmane Dembele's season as the Ballon d'Or holder, Paris Saint Germain's season as the Champions League holder, and we want to start it off greatly. Looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, I watched their game versus United, and I was not amazed, but I was, how do I say, something good about how Spurs played. They played a bit like a pragmatic Serie A side, not leaving that much space to United, being very dangerous on the counter-attack, and both teams being good and trying to abuse set pieces. That's the new Premier League thing. Abuse set pieces. See, it's so jarring. It's so jarring. But Spurs will be a difficult-ish opponent for us to beat. Should we beat Spurs? 100%. But going into that game, let's be professional. Our players, they'll have a short break now, then they'll come back immediately for this game. But we've seen throughout history, basically every single Champions League winner eventually goes on to win the UEFA Super Cup. Apart from 2 times, from what I remember, Atletico Madrid beat Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid beat Chelsea. So when Chelsea won the UCL in 2012, I think Atletico Madrid battered them like 4-1. Falcao scored a hat-trick. And then 5-3, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid as well. So usually the Champions League winner does win the game. That, they will put up a tough game. Spurs will put up a tough game because, the Europa League, that's their biggest night in their history. And this night right here against Paris Saint Germain, the reigning Champions League champions, this is an absolute huge game for them. First, competitive game for new manager Thomas Frank. First game for a lot of the new signings. First game, with Heung-min Son leaving. This is a huge game for Spurs, and we gotta treat it as a huge game as it is. As I've said before, I don't compare the UEFA Super Cup to other major competitions, but as a Paris Saint Germain supporter and as someone that has a winning mentality, we should win every single trophy we compete for. And as I said, it would be a great start to the season. It would be a great start to the season because we don't know exactly when our first Ligue 1 game will be played because Paris Saint Germain has asked Ligue 1 to postpone their first Ligue 1 game. And then maybe we chuck in 1 to 2 friendly games, probably in Europe, just like last time. I don't think we have time to go to East Asia or North America. For a preseason. I could assume Paris Saint Germain maybe finding one team, like we played Leipzig last year, Sturm Graz, something like that in Austria, Germany, and then maybe one Ligue 1 or Ligue 2 club. Maybe a cheeky preseason game versus Paris FC to see how the rivalry is doing. But yeah, as I said, the last memory I have of PSG on the pitch was the 3-0 defeat to And I don't want that to be the lost memory on the pitch I have of Paris Saint Germain. We need to go into this game. We need to win this game. I've read João Neves will participate in the game, so there's no excuse. We should have our best 11. Chevalier and Zabarni. Hopefully, we get them done deals soon, because Paris Saint Germain want them to be done deals ahead of this UEFA Super Cup games, to have them in the group, to have them in the squad, and maybe get some minutes off the bench. The only question mark, maybe goalkeeping position, you know, with everything that's going around. I also saw a report, Safanov linked to Galatasaray, which we'll talk about it if it actually becomes concrete that Chevalier and Donnarumma will be competing at Paris Saint Germain together. But yeah, this game will be played. Let me actually check when this game is being played. UEFA Super Cup Final. I think it's on the 13th. Yeah, 13th of August, usual time as Paris Saint Germain play. Where is it played? Stadio Friuli. Stadio Friuli. Udinese? It's Udinese Stadium. So we're going to play in Italy. Cheeky game. Cheeky stadium. I don't think PSG have ever played there. And as I said, Tottenham will treat this game humongously. And that's why we got to treat this game big enough. And I'm very excited. You know, we were at the Club World Cup. There are a lot of football fans supporting teams that were not there. And now it's the opposite. I've seen a lot of teams, mostly the teams that didn't play there, but also some other teams that having their preseason and scoring goals and everything. So I'm missing Paris Saint Germain. I want Paris Saint Germain back. I want to see them boost Khvicha, Vitinha, Neves, Fabian, Hakimi, Nuno, Pacho, Marquinhos, Donna, and then Beraldo, Kangeli, Gonçalo, Mayulu, Warren. Not missing anyone, I think. Yeah, but I want to see the team. I'm excited to watch Paris Saint Germain and Spurs. This will be a great final. I've seen how you play. I've seen how we play. You guys will obviously try to make it hard for us to do what we want to do. But I believe Paris Saint Germain will overcome and win its 5th trophy in 2025. What a historical year for this beautiful club. And then after that game, we have basically 1.5 months until the Ballon d'Or, the Golden Boy, the Yashin Trophy, and the top 30 Ballon d'Or nominations. The season is about to start. And for everyone wondering about the podcast will finally be back. The pre-match podcast of Paris Saint Germain versus Spurs on the 12th. And then obviously we'll have the live watch along of the game and the post-match podcast after. That's been it from boy PSG. And hopefully guys have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez Paris.